All right, folks. We got 2 left, maybe? We're going to do it in 2. So, order of operations. This is super important. This is super important. Right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right, addition and subtraction. So, that is something that you would write down. What's something else that you could do? You could take a screenshot of it. If you were going to write it down though, right, you would go PEMDAS, knowing that this is one thing and this is one thing. Because if you notice, they go from left to right. So once you get down to multiplication and division, you're just like doing the order of operation from the beginning to the end. What is it? Oh, it's parentheses and exponents. Oh, no, it's not parentheses and exponents. So, 6 squared. So I'm like literally just writing it down, right? I'm writing down the same thing so that I can go back and I can reference it. So there aren't any parentheses, but there is an exponent. Okay? So I'm going to do the exponent. So 6 squared is the same as 6 times 6, which is 36. And then I'm just going to write out the rest of it. So now what have I got? Now I've got my multiplication and division. So 4 times 8 needs to be multiplied and 6 needs to be divided by 2. So I'm going to keep my 36 just the way that it is. And then I'm going to I'm going to add 4 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. Oh, I totally could have just looked at the screen. And then I'm going to subtract 6 divided by 2, which is 3. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but I do that all the time. I tell you the answer before I do the math. It happens. And now, as you can see, right, I've gotten down to just addition and addition and subtraction. So I'm just going to go straight across. 36 plus 32 is 68 minus 3 is 65. I feel like maybe that didn't line up super well, but here we are. Okay, so that's your PEMDAS. You can write down, if that does not do it for you, write down parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So now we're going to do the interactive. Select the answer with the appropriate order of operation and click submit. So you'll see these kinds of questions in your quizzes, which is why it's important for you to practice them, right? 12 divided by 2 times 6. So 12 divided by 2 is 6 times 6 is 36. 12 divided by 2, oh, see, so they multiplied first. And so they're going to get the wrong answer. Because remember, when you're doing multiplication and division, you're going from left to right. So that's going to be our right answer. Boom! I got it right. You know why? Because I read the directions. That's why. So now you're going to go down to your self-check, right? Oh, you know what I didn't do? This was an excellent mistake for me to miss. Also, we have this right here. I didn't go to the substitution. One thing I do want to show you before I move on is remember the toolbox. So if I click on the toolbox and I come down here to order of operations, it opens up it opens up notes from that page, right? So if you have a printer, this would also be a really good thing for you to print out. It's still a good idea for you to write it down, but that is another resource that you have that Florida Virtual is providing for you. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to substitution. Evaluating expressions. Evaluating expressions. That essentially means multiplying them out. You're trying to figure out what they mean. So substitution is the magic word. It really is. My high school math teacher used to tell me that, and I still remember it. Substitution is the magic word. So when you have substitution, when you have something that equals a value, right? All you're doing is substituting that in for the variable. So you're replacing the variable with whatever the number is. Those are numbers. And you're putting them in parentheses, like it says right here, because you need to take the sign with it so that because whatever the sign of the number you're substituting in can change what your expression is saying. And then you just multiply it out. I am not going to write this down because it has it all written down for you. If these are rules that you don't know, you should write it down. But I'm going to let you do that based on what you need, right? So always remember when you have two, there's an invisible one right here. Remember our invisible one? It appears all kinds of places. If you have a negative sign in front of your invisible one, then remember 2 negatives make a positive even when they're stuck together like that. And this is going to be the same thing, right? It's going to be -3 times -1 because whatever your operation sign before is, remember when you take that with you when you're considering it in your terms and your coefficients and all of those things. Okay, so that's that. And then you're just like literally going across. After you've done your multiplication, you're just going across and you're getting your answer for your substitution. So now we're going to come down here and we're going to do a self-check. But remember, we're going to do the problems before we check our answers. So we've got (2x). I'm concerned that my screen isn't going to write. If you watched that other video, which I'm sure you did because you like to watch all my videos. X equals 2 and y equals 3. Okay, so, now we're going to evaluate. So what's the magic word? The magic word is substitution. So we've got 2 times 2 plus 3 times 3. If I were really on top of it right now, I would have colored those the same color, but I'm not. Okay, so now we're going to do order of operations. Multiplication and division first, right? So 2 times 2 equals 4, plus 3 times 3 equals 9, 4 plus 9 equals 13. Now, we're going to go in and check. Boom, look at that. Okay? Look at, I almost checked my answer. Okay, this, was number 1. You also could do like page 4. Is this page 4? 5. This is page 5. So you also could put on your notes, right, page 5. Then you would know where the self-check problems were. How can that help you? Well, if you came to me in office hours and you were like, I do not understand the practice problem on page 5, number 2 in the self-check, then I would know of 1.01. Like, that's really important information that helps me as your teacher. Okay, so 4x minus y minus 2z when, look at, I'm going to remember this time, x equals -2, y equals 0, and z equals -1. So same thing, right? Substitution. We're going to go for, I'm going to write this out so I don't have to change. Oh, just kidding. My colors. over and over again. And now I'm going to substitute in. So we're going to put the -2 right there. Y is purple. So we're going to put our 0 right here. And then 2 times, what was Z? -1. All right, now I'm going to multiply out. What have I got? I've got 4 times -2 equals -8. Minus 0, because 0 is just 0. Minus, I totally put a 2. See, that's why, what was I doing? What was I thinking? I was thinking it's my 4th video in a row. And 2 equals, what is that? 2 times -1. -2, because remember, I'm taking the whole thing with me. -2 times -1 equals positive 2. And then -8, essentially plus 2, because your 0 isn't doing anything, equals -6. Did I get it right? What? I got it right. I love it when the math works out. All right, I'm not going to do number 3 for you. You can do number 3 on your own. Let's just go ahead and click forward and see what page 6 is. This is what we're going to focus on for the last video, because this is a really important piece that throws a lot of you up. So I'm going to walk through that with you, and then we're going to be finished with this lesson. I really hope that these will help you in the future for how to break down these different lessons, and also understanding that it just takes some time. There's nothing wrong with that.